Yum. All right. Good afternoon. I have to start with an apology, apparently. It has been brought to my attention by my beloved eldest sister that I have let you down. I apparently promised a bonus episode last week, and I did not deliver a bonus episode last week. That is my fault. I got off track. There will, for sure and for certain, come hell or high water, be a new episode, a bonus episode, this week, Thursday. And if there isn't, I'm sure my sister Becca will be after me again. But for now, I want to talk about one of my three favorite Olympians, Hermes. Hermes, the god of messengers, travelers, tricksters, and thieves. Hermes is awesome. He's already shown up twice, I believe, in the stories that I've told you. He showed up in the story of Zeus and Hera, where he was the one who got Princess Io out of the garden, although he didn't get her out of cow shape. He also showed up in the story of Hades, Demeter, and Persephone, where he was the one who found Persephone in the underworld and acted as the go-between between Zeus and Hades, sending messages, helping with the negotiations. And that is sort of Hermes' role. Just, Hermes is usually portrayed as a younger god than the others. He's usually shown as a youth, as slender. He's also definitely has a few symbols that are 100% associated with him. First, winged sandals. Hermes had a pair of magic sandals with wings on them that allowed him to travel at great speeds, even faster than I assume he would have been as an Olympian alone. He also carried a magic wand called the caduceus or caduceus. And the funny thing about his wand, the caduceus, it is typically shown as a staff or a wand with two snakes or two ribbons sometimes wrapped around it, and sometimes but not always a pair of wings at the top. The wings were a later addition. They represent the wings on his sandals. Now, the place that you will most often see that symbol is at a doctor's office or on things related to medicine. And that's an oops. So, I might be overcompensating. My sister pointed out I oopsed, so I'm going to point out all the medical people that oops. But here we go. The caduceus is a symbol that's been used for lots of different purposes throughout the centuries. But one of the most common uses for it, proper uses I should say, is for business, for commerce, for trading. Because traders and merchants would have to travel from place to place, for example. The more proper symbol to be used for a medical service would be the staff of Asclepius, which instead of being a slender wand or pretty looking stick, just a rough-hewn branch with a single snake wrapped around it. Now, another day, another time, I might get into Asclepius more, but basically that was his magic wand of healing. He was a famous healer in Greek myth and legend. That is a symbol that should be used for medicine. Instead, through various oopses, the caduceus, the staff or the magic wand of Hermes, is used instead. But, considering the state of medicine today, at least in the United States, having a symbol for business be used instead of a symbol for actual medicine might actually be appropriate. But moving on. Hermes is one of the younger Olympians. He is one of the Olympians who came along later. And on the day Hermes was born, he got bored. And so he did what any newborn baby would do when it got bored. Climbed out of his crib, walked out of the palace on top of Mount Olympus, and trundled down the hill on his fat little baby legs. And he's walking down a dusty country road. And what should he see? Some cows. Some beautiful, beautiful cows. They were some good-looking cows. And so little baby Hermes at 1 day old did what any 1 day old baby would do when it decided that, those cows looked good. He stole them. He opened the gate, waved for the cows followed him, and away they went. They went trundling down the road on his chubby little baby legs, followed by a whole herd of cows. And at one point, little baby Hermes stopped, looked at the herd of the cows, looked at the road behind the herd of cows, and made a decision. He paused and he started ripping up bundles of grass from the roadside and then tied them to the tails of all the cows. And after he had made these grass bundles attached to each tail of each cow, I guess one tail on each cow, he went off down the road again. And he's walking down the road, and it's mid-morning at this point, and he stops to get himself a drink at a stream because, he's a baby. He's thirsty. He's had a busy day already. He's stolen a herd of cows, walked down the mountainside, snuck out of a palace. And he's getting himself a drink of water, and he sees a turtle, and he realizes, oh man, I am hungry. I have had a busy day, and I'm really, really hungry. Mom's not around to give me food, so I guess I have no other choice. Gotta feed myself. So, little baby Hermes snatched his fat little baby hands into that pond, grabbed himself up a turtle, tucked it under his arms, and went to find a good place to settle down for the rest of the afternoon. Of course, taking the cows with him. And he went off-road a little bit and found a nice cave not too far away from the stream. And first he herded all the cows into the cave, got them all back there where they belong, and brought some handfuls of grass for them to munch on. And then he made some turtle soup. Because, he's hungry. Gotta feed a baby. So this baby made himself some turtle soup. And he fixed himself up some turtle soup, ate it. It was yummy. It was delicious. Oh, and when you have a nice belly full of warm, warm soup. Or delicious coffee. Anyway, he has baby belly's full of soup, and he's tired, but he can't get comfortable. He needs a lullaby. Mom's not there to sing him a lullaby. So, he does the next best thing. He takes some of the guts from the turtle, and he stretches them out and twists them and dries them, and he strings them across the opening of the now empty turtle shell. And in doing so, as he strings the gut across over and over, he invents for himself a new musical instrument. A musical instrument called the lyre. Now, I want to be clear. I'm talking lyre, a musical instrument. And it is one of the basic musical instruments you'll see portrayed in ancient Greek art. That is different than a liar, as in, let's say, for example, a person not telling the truth, maybe a brother who claims that the stained glass window got broken when the sister threw the brush at him, missed, and broke the glass, when everybody knows what actually happened. It was the brother who threw a shoe at the sister, and she ducked, and he broke the stained glass. Not that type of lyre. Not liar, liar, pants on fire. Lyre, beautiful classical stringed instrument. A small handheld harp, basically. So, little baby Hermes desperately wants to take a good nap, and he grabs the lyre in his hand and starts strumming away with his chubby little baby fingers, trying to play a nice little lullaby for himself. And it's all good. And that's where we're going to pause the story and rewind all the way back up to Mount Olympus, where after a busy morning, the god Apollo has decided to start his day. And we'll talk more about Apollo, I think, next week, him and his twin sister Artemis. But Apollo is a god of light. He is the god of the arts. He is the patron of the muses, the goddesses, the spirits of all the arts. Poetry, music, theater, writing, all of that. He also happens to have as his symbol a bow and arrow. He is an archer. And he's not the sun himself. That would be the god Helios. But he is associated with sunlight, the same way his sister Artemis is associated with moonlight. But I digress. The main point here is Apollo has decided that he's going to go down to the earth and check on his beautiful herd of cows. And he gets to the field where his cows are, and he looks in the field through the open gate, and what he sees is no cows. And at this point, Apollo is angry. And I think we've established you don't want to be around one of the Greek gods when they are angry. They are not pleasant to be around when they are angry. And he is very, very angry. And he is going to find his cows. So he sets off down the road. Now, luckily, a herd of cows is actually pretty easy to follow on a dirt road. There's all the hoof prints and, to be clear, droppings here and there. If you've ever walked behind a cow, you don't want to walk behind a cow. So he's walking quickly down the road, not stepping in the cow poop, and he's sure he's going to find his cows quite quickly because it's such an obvious trail. But then the trail stops. It's like it's just gone. And then all of a sudden, just no trail. Almost as if all the footprints and all the evidence had been swept away. Almost as if each cow carried behind it a broom that swished back and forth, sweeping away all signs of their passing. Apollo's confused. He's angry, but he doesn't give up. He is going to find those cows. And so he just searches everywhere. And he's hot, and he's tired, and he's grumpy when he finally hears, faintly, a cow. He hears a cow, and he knows, yep, there's more of them. My cows. He's going to find his cows, and oh, woe betide the poor fool who has taken his cows. He is going to end that fool. And he draws his bow, knocks an arrow, and goes running after the sound of the cows. But as he runs down the banks of a stream, as he gets closer to the sound of cows mooing, another sound reaches his ears. What is that beautiful sound? And he comes up on the mouth of the cave, and sure enough, there's his cows. Immediately he's filled with anger again. And there, laying in a nice comfy bed of grass, is his baby brother Hermes. And he is ready to end Hermes right then, right there. I don't care if you're my little baby half-brother. You don't steal from me. And he is ready to end Hermes. He's drawn his bow. He's pulled back the arrow. But then he hears that sound again. And it's little baby Hermes strumming on the lyre. And Hermes says, "Oh, hey, brother. Nice to see you. Pull up a rock. I was getting kind of lonely over here." And Apollo says, No, don't dear brother me. You stole my cows, you horrible little infant. It's like, what? Oh, these were your cows? Oh, I'm sorry. If I had known they were your cows, they just followed me down the road. I'm glad that I found you so I can give these cows back to you. You really should lock your gates. And Apollo's like, I did lock my, but, well, are you hungry, brother? And Hermes pulls him up a nice bowl of turtle soup and offers it to Apollo. It's like, don't try to distract me with... Oh, that actually does smell quite delicious. And he takes a sip of his soup. It's like, now, I'm going to... And Hermes starts playing on the lyre again. It's like, what is that beautiful thing? And Hermes says, oh, what, this? Oh, this little thing? This is just something that I invented. I call it a lyre. Do you like it, brother? Well, yes, I like it, but don't try to distract me. I mean, I need my cows. Like, tell you what, tell you what. I found your cows for you. No need to thank me. I found your cows for you. You may have them back. And in exchange for carrying me back to Mount Olympus, because my poor little baby legs are really quite tired, I will give you this musical instrument, this lyre. You don't even need to thank me. We'll just call it even. I just need to get back home. I'm tired. And Apollo is torn. Beat the tar out of this little baby that stole his herd of cows, or a musical instrument? Beat up a baby, musical instrument. Angry God, God of music, he went with the musical instrument. He put the lyre under one arm, put Hermes under the other, led the cows back to the field, got into their pen, and the two of them went back up to Mount Olympus, where Hermes trundled off, climbed back up into his crib, tucked in under his blanket, and went to sleep. And a little while later, his mother woke up and looked down at her darling, darling child and said, "Oh, such a sweet, innocent babe, still napping after all this time. They're angels when they're sleeping." And that is Hermes. Hermes is going to show up a lot. He's already shown up this is his third time showing up, and this is the first time it's actually his story. He's awesome. He's going to show up in bunches of other stories. He's going to show up in The Legend of Perseus. He's going to show up during the Trojan War. He's going to show up lots of places. But for now, we're going to let the little baby nap. I'm going to finish my pot of coffee, and I'll start planning that bonus episode. And that'll be on Thursday. And then, the week after that, we'll do Apollo for reals along with his sister, Artemis. In the meantime, have a good night.